Hey guys, welcome back to Think Beautiful, the channel where I discuss the debacle that is Meghan Markle. Because, as ever, Meghan Markle has come out with something new. Honestly, this is cringe as ever. It is terrible as ever. Let's just take a look at her Instagram reel today that came out. See what she says.
It's recording.
Okay. Cat's out of the bag. I'm shocked we've kept this a secret for so long. In 2 weeks, my show is coming out, which I'm so excited for. And also my business, which I think there's been a lot of curiosity about. Last year, I had thought, you know what, American Riviera, that sounds like such a great name. It's my neighborhood. It's a nickname for Santa Barbara. But it limited me to things that were just manufactured and grown in this area. Then Netflix came on, not just as my partner in the show, but as my partner in my business, which was huge. So I thought about it, and I've been waiting for a moment to share a name that I had secured in 2022, and this is the moment. And it's called As Ever. As Ever essentially means as it's always been. And if you followed me since 2014 with the TIG, you know I've always loved cooking and crafting and gardening. This is what I do, and I haven't been able to share it with you in the same way for the past few years, but now I can. So as things are starting to trickle out there, I wanted you to hear it from me first. Of course, there will be fruit preserves. I think we're all clear at this point that jam is my jam. But there's so many more products that I just love that I use in my home, and now it's time to share it with you. So I can't wait for you to see it. Thanks, guys.
Oh my goodness. Now, first of all, what I have to say about these reels that Meghan Markle has started to put out, so I'm talking about the Billie Eilish t-shirt saga and now this one, is seriously, these are coming across as like manic rambling episodes. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure what's going on with Meghan Markle. I'm not across this. I don't know her personally, but these are not looking good. I'm just saying. And I'm going to leave it at that. Second thing I have to say about that particular reel, that post, is Meghan Markle is an absolute liar. What a liar. Oh my gosh, a liar as ever. Nothing has changed, of course. Now, what I'm referring to, obviously, is her explanation, okay, for why she chose not to go with American Riviera Orchard. What an absolute joke. She can't even say it without looking away from the camera and holding her head. She knows it is a lie. She has said just now that she has chosen not to go with it basically because it limited her product choices, because that would mean they would all have to be from the American Riviera area. What a load of bollocks, honestly. Sweetheart, we all know, we have been watching this closely. Your application had so many issues, okay? And on top of all of those issues, you then had another company put in a letter of protest to double down on the fact that your brand made no sense. It was a geographical location. The very reason you're saying that, you couldn't use it, you can't use it because you're not allowed to, honey. That is ridiculous. What an absolute lie. I have to call that out. An absolute lie. She didn't get the approval. That is the reason why. It has absolutely nothing to do with any decision that she's made around, oh, I couldn't do so and so product. Give me an absolute break. The last thing I will say about that is, why does Harry have to be in it at the start? That is ridiculous. If this was actually filmed in real time, which I'm assuming it was, like honestly, he must have been back from Invictus for like 5 minutes. I kid you not. He must have just got back in. Now, I will just say as well that I believe she kind of made it hard for him to get home because she called the Paps to film her getting off that private jet when she left early, when she cut her trip short. Those Paps accidentally released a photo of that private jet with the tail number. Now, that was the same flight that those, or the same plane that those two took to get to Vancouver. It's the same plane that brought her back. I am pretty sure that that plane was going to bring Harry back as well. But because everyone then knew that plane tail number and were watching that plane, he could not get that plane home. I swear to God, that is what happened. Because of her big mouth and her trying to get attention and calling back grid, that has thwarted Harry's way to get back home. And honestly, in that video, if you listen to his voice, he doesn't sound that happy. He's like, it's recording, and she's like, it's just not even in line with what he's saying. He doesn't sound happy at all. And she's just sounding crazy happy. So that's my take on that video. But that's not the purpose of this particular episode, you guys. I want to talk you through what's been going on with this As Ever brand over the last couple of years. Okay, so I've done quite a bit of research here. So let's start with the documents for this As Ever brand. I've taken a look at all of these documents so you guys don't have to. And there's a lot of documents going on here. A lot has happened, and you guys, it's pretty hilarious. I'm going to talk you through this. This wasn't a smooth sale for Meghan Markle. Nothing is, okay? Anyway, she sent her application through for As Ever on the 13th of October 2022. Okay, now just to remind everyone what was happening at that time, okay, only 24 days earlier, we had the Queen's funeral. Okay, so I don't want to show a picture from that, obviously, but this was the vibe at the time. Okay, I'm using this picture because I love this picture. I love the icy stare. I wish there were icicles coming out. I wish it had done some damage. I wish it was like, that next level of just like straight through. But yeah, one of the best pictures. Look, they're all looking at her like, what's she gonna do? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this was all happening. So literally 24 days after the Queen is laid to rest, Meghan Markle is on it. She is sending out all these applications. She's all about trademarks. She was like in monetization mode. Of course she was. This is who she is. We know that. But just look at the timeline. It just makes you sick. I felt nauseous when I thought about this. I'm not even joking. Okay, so she went crazy. She obviously wants to trademark everything in the world. This is just a snapshot. I just thought this was insane. There's a million different things. Literally, the only thing that's missing is the kitchen sink. Coasters, picnic baskets that are empty. Pots and pans, dreams that are empty, planters for flowers and plants, obviously. Flower pots. Who's going to buy a Meghan Markle flower pot? Honestly. Bird baths being bowls for birds to bathe in. Isn't that just a bowl? I mean, it's just insane. Jams. Yeah, yeah, we know the jams. Okay, honey stirrers. Guys, just go to the $2 store and get yourself a honey stirrer. You don't need an As Ever honey stirrer, honestly. Anyway, everything was in this. As ever, she puts everything in to cover herself. This is called pipe dreams or delusion, you could also say. Now, as part of the original application, or the only application really, was only this mark. So this was all she put in. It's just this As Ever. Yes, it looks like sewer, a sewer. I can see that now. It's actually hard not to see that. She is a sewer rat, absolutely. Anyway, this is all it was. So um, this looks fine. It's very boring. But whatever, as ever, as if. The mark consists of standard characters, very standard, too standard for Meghan Markle, I would have thought, without claim to any particular font style, size, or color. So they just went basic bitch, basically. I think they just had no idea. I think she just typed it in and she was like, I'll just deal with that later. Just get the trademark going, you guys. I'll get my calligraphy pen ready and I'll start scribbling and coming up with some ideas. But I need more time. Anyway, this is what it was. Um, yeah, so you can see here that they sent the application through, and I hope you guys can see this. If not, I'm going to talk you through this anyway. It might be a bit blurry because I've blown it up so much, but you can see here that on the in July, she actually got a response back from her application. So that was 9 months after she sent through the application. She got a non final action. Now, after ARO, I know what a non final action is. Okay. And if you don't know, a non final action is basically the response to her application, and it's telling her the things that are wrong and that she needs to fix before it could ever be approved. Okay. So here we go again. We didn't know this with ARO, but this had happened before with As Ever already. Okay. We just didn't see this in real time, but this is still hilarious. So these were the problems with her original application for As Ever. Okay, there were three problems that they had, or issues. You can say issues if you like, if you want to be fancy. Yeah, big problems. Summary of issues. So, first of all, section 2D, which we'll have a look at, likelihood of confusion, partial refusal for class 25. Okay, so it's quite a big one. We'll have a look at that in a second. It was also unsigned because, as per usual, none of their team can ever be bothered to sign the application. I feel they do it on purpose, but it's just crazy. Anyway, it wasn't signed. So obviously that was going to be a problem. And also, identification of goods and services, there were some issues. So, they have to list a million things and, napkins and this and that, and they've got to use the correct wording. And, yeah, obviously there can be mistakes in that. I get that. Since she puts a bazillion items, there'll probably be a few mistakes. Anyway, I also put a picture of Meghan Markle there because she's also part of the issue, I think, as well. The biggest issue, the problem is Meghan. We all know that. Anyway, so that is what came back to them. So, in their usual lackluster response, they took 6 months to come back with anything, taking their time. So, but anyway, this is what it was all about. Okay, so I'll just explain this first. So, section 2D, likelihood of confusion, partial refusal, was because, as ever, looks very similar to this, which is already in existence. So this is a seva. I guess that's how you say it, a seva. It looks very similar. Now, that's actually not a problem in itself. If you have a brand name like a McDonald's that sells burgers and a McDonald's that sells hammers, that's okay. There's not going to be a confusion. They're very separate. But when your products are in the same class, it's a problem. So these guys, this Aseva, had products in class 25. Meghan Markle's, as ever, also had products in class 25. So it was a problem. So they highlighted this to Meghan and her team, and they said, look, these products are too similar, these names are too similar, this is not going to work. Now, the products that they were talking about, Meghan Markle in her class 25 had aprons, which is a big thing for a cooking product or a cooking show, a lifestyle brand. You know, aprons is a big deal, I think. This other Aseva company had what they call similar to aprons because it's class 25. So it's babies' pants, bathing trunks, camisoles, blah, blah, blah. Clothing. It's basically clothing is your class 25. Okay. So she had to figure out, how am I going to get around this? How are we going to fix this? I need aprons. Okay. So that was the first thing that was wrong. The second thing that was wrong, obviously, it was unsigned. That's a no brainer. It was just looking like that. So that's an easy fix. Pull your finger out, guys. Simple. The next thing that was wrong, as I mentioned, was there was some wording problems with the descriptions and things like that. So, one of the things that she listed, if you look at the bottom there, she had a garden tool gift set. Doesn't that sound nice? A garden tool gift set. But she wasn't specific about what would go in that set. So the issue was that it needed to be more specific. You can't just say, what is in the kit? They were saying, what is it? So they recommended, so the suggested amendment would be garden tool gift set comprised of trowels, weeding forks, spades, and hose. So Meghan Markle forgot her hose. She forgot to put her hose in the application. Okay. Now, I'm just saying hose. I'm obviously talking about gardening utensils. I've just put a picture of her there, but she forgot to put her hose in. Meghan Markle forgot about hose, which why would she talk about it? She wants to forget about that. Anyway, so they were the things that she had to fix. Uh, okay. They then got a response back or they sent their response back. 6 months later. It took them 6 months to get their act together and go, okay, this is what we're going to do. So this was their way of fixing those problems. They said, okay, this section 2D, this partial refusal because it's confusing. They said, so in response to that, so this is Meghan's as ever, is going to delete class 25 altogether. They are just going to not worry about it. It's too hard basket. A Sever already has clothing. We are just going to delete our application for class 25. So, guys, that means Meghan Markle cannot sell aprons. Meghan Markle cannot sell aprons for her cooking show. And look, she's wearing like 3 aprons in just 3 images I've got in front of me. One for the garden. I don't know why she's got two inside. It's crazy. But Meghan Markle has a cooking show. She can't even sell aprons. I think that is hilarious. Good on Aseva, whoever you guys are. Well done for just being around. I don't even think they did anything. They just happened to have the trademark already. Hilarious. Meghan Markle has missed out big time. Big time. You can't even get an as ever apron. Oh, that is sad. It's a sad time. It really is. Anyway, I thought that was just so ridiculous that they just dropped that. Goodness sakes. Okay. Anyway, moving along. Obviously, they could sign the document. That's an easy one. I don't need to show you guys anything for that. This one here for the goods and services, they made Meghan Markle add hose. So she had to add her hose into the application. They forced her to write the word hoe. I love that. I love that. Meghan Markle had to add her hose to the application. Again, I'm just showing a picture, you guys. That is just a picture from the cooking show. Nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm just talking about hose that you use in the garden. That's all I'm saying. All right. So then we got this. This is present day now. And we got Meghan Markle, I feel, being a little too cocky because I think she feels like she's done all the hard work, that it's all ticked off. She's fixed those three things. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be roses. She's put out this video. Um, she's I feel that this was very premature. I'm sure someone said, Meghan, please don't do this. And she was like, no, it's all fine. We know what we're doing. It's all going to be good to go. Um, yeah, a few little problems though, Meghan. A few problems. You should have waited because, first of all, these are still pending. It's still pending. We're doing the same thing again. If these don't go through, we're all going to know about it. We're all going to report on it. We're all going to laugh at you. Okay. So, first of all, just wait until it is approved. It's not that hard. So, usually these things take like 6 months. It's probably next month. She only had to wait a couple of weeks. So, ridiculous, in my opinion. The other thing, as I said at the start, the application only ever included this font. So this as ever, this basic looking trademark or mark, like boring as ever, that's all it was. So these other marks are very new and are yet to have any feedback. Okay, she has only just applied for these. So I'm talking about this one. Okay, she only filed the application for this particular mark in September, on the 17th of September. Now, two things I see wrong with this particular mark. Okay, first of all, the pixel size, that's at 321 by 140. That is very, very small. I believe she's going to have an issue with the pixel size. I think they'll come back to her and say, no, that's too low. I've had a look at what they recommend. I've done my research, I'm telling you. They recommend pixel sizes to be submitted 250 to 944. So that's anywhere between there. So that 140, I think that's a problem. So anyway, I think the quality of the image is shizer, let's just say. The other thing I think that is wrong with that, I mean, it's in her calligraphy, that's already wrong. But I think they're going to say something. This is just my feeling, just my opinion. I just think that R on the end, they're going to say that that could look like an N because I think it dips too low. That's just what I think. They might think it's fine, whatever. I think she's going to have some issues with this. Either way, she's only just submitted it. Okay. The other one, which is maybe the more interesting one, is this one, right? So again, she filed this one 3 days later. So on the 20th of September, again, not approved, has had zero feedback about this one. Okay. She's not waited very long at all. Now she's using both of these. Don't forget, she went out today and said, hey, basically, I'm out here now. I'm out here now. These are my logos. She's got them. We've all seen them. She's using them. Okay. So we've got this one. I think she's going to have issues. I've done another video, obviously, about this. Um, but the interesting thing, I think, with these two marks coming out around that 17th, 20th of September, I feel like this was very much an emotional decision because I don't think that date is a coincidence. I don't think Meghan Markle does coincidences. Okay, I think she's a very, very impulsive person. And if you think what was happening around that time, we had Harry's birthday, didn't we? We had Harry's 40th birthday, which was was it the 15th of September? Did I write it down? Yeah, 15th of September. So remember, we had all this talk. Are they even going to be together on his birthday? She dragged him out in front of the Paps for Tyler Perry's birthday on the 14th. They then, he got dragged along to Kelly Zeifman's tennis tournament thing under the banner of Archwell, which I'm sure was just a last minute pretend sponsorship thing. So this was all happening at that time. So I believe, just my opinion, they had a huge meltdown. She had a huge meltdown. They had a huge blow up at this time because that was all happening. His birthday, whatever, was all happening on the weekend. And then it was all that next week, she started filing all these new trademarks. And that's where you get this palm tree, the single palm tree with the two birds. Is that her going, that's it, I'm done, we're broken up? Is that when they broke up? I mean, I'm going to say probably. I'm going to say that was probably what triggered it. And this was her reaction to that. And that's just my opinion. Oh, my goodness. The other interesting thing I want to point out as well is that she has a company name. So the company name is As Ever Enterprises, LLC. So you can see here, um, again, around that time, she's been basically just renewing this. So she's just been reserving the name. So Yeah, so that's what's happening. She's going in under as ever enterprises. Honestly, this is the worst name ever. This is the worst name ever. Whatever, as if it's just ridiculous. It's just not a thing. I don't even know what to say about it. But look, we've all seen the logos. If if she's going to use any logos, it's those two. And look, they're the ones I think she's going to have big issues with. Anyway, oh my goodness, you guys, this has been a fun ride. I have to say, I can't believe what I'm seeing where this is all in real time. It's just insane. This is just the craziest train wreck ever. It's so entertaining to watch. So thank you, you guys, so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. I will keep covering this and anything else Meghan Markle does. The debacle that is Meghan Markle. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.